Welcome to this week's meeting of the Rotary E-Club of Silicon Valley. We, as a part of the club, focus on entrepreneurship, innovation, and education. And we use technology as a tool in order to facilitate our purpose, which is making the world a better place to live. This week's meeting is very, very special in the sense that our president-elect is going to outline for us his ideas for the upcoming year. And I've been looking forward to this, and I hope that each one of you enjoy this so that you have an idea as to what's coming down in the future. And I would turn the program over to Jackal so that he can present his ideas to the club.
Thanks so much, Roger. I really appreciate this. And I've been looking forward to this program as well. Looking forward to sharing some of my goals for this upcoming Rotary year with all of you and getting some feedback on this and suggestions and additional ideas that we can try and implement in the new Rotary year. So let me just share my screen here. Okay. Let's see. There you go. You guys can see my screen? Okay, perfect. All right, so again, thanks Roger for reaching out and for the opportunity to share my plan with the club members here ahead of the start of the new Rotary year. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my main goals for this year. And here on this slide, I've outlined my main 3 goals as upcoming president for the new Rotary year. My first goal would be to grow our club's impact in our global community. So like Roger mentioned in the introduction, we are in the business of making the world a better place. We want to make sure that our club and us individually are able to have a positive impact for other people. We are a service organization. My second goal is to improve our member happiness and engagement in our club. I want to make sure that everyone who is taking their time and their financial resources to be a part of the Rotary Club of Silicon Valley is actually happy with their membership. They feel engaged, they feel connected. And my third goal is to make our club operations more efficient. So this is probably not going to be as visible as the other two to most of our members, but it's mostly for the board and for all the dedicated leaders of our committees, just to make things a bit easier for all of them. So I'd like to go into each of these 3 goals in a bit more detail. So the first goal about growing our club's impact in the community. So I think I have a few ways that I'd like to make sure that we achieve that goal. So the first way would be to build a strong team that would help advance that goal. And this will be particularly important for our local service and international service committee. So we have both of these committees in existence already, and I think in the new Rotary year, we'll try and make them feel a bit more supported, and we'll try and engage more of our members to be part of these committees so that we can have an impact as a club both in our own local communities and also internationally. A second way of achieving that goal is to create more opportunities for these online and in-person service projects. Now, there are a number of ways that our members have already been contributing their time and effort to both online and in person. We've seen pictures and reports of our club members participating in service projects in the Silicon Valley. And we also on a regular basis get reports of what our members have been up to in their own communities. Now there's, when it comes to online type projects that members can be involved in. There's a number of different ways that that we can do this. There's mentorship opportunities that you could do online. There's other type of skill sharing opportunities. And when we're talking about service projects that you can do in person, probably the best way, the easiest way to do that would be to partner with a local Rotary Club in your area. So whether you're based in the Silicon Valley or elsewhere in the world, reaching out to a local Rotary Club, getting on their email list, making sure that they are aware that you're interested in helping with their local service projects is probably a good way to do that. For example, I live in Harare, Zimbabwe. There's about 10 Rotary Clubs or so in the city here. And I've reached out to many of them, and I'm on some email lists and some WhatsApp groups. So I sort of stay engaged with what's happening. Another way that we can make a difference is through grant contributions. So one of the things that we're very seriously considering on doing this coming Rotary year is having our first global grant. So this will be very exciting, and we still have to decide exactly where this grant is going to be, the community that it's going to be benefiting. But it really shows the evolution of our club. We also, I want us to continue to contribute to district grants and other global grants in collaboration with other Rotary clubs, other partner clubs. As well here, I wanted to mention the mini grants program, which we've had for several years in our club. And most of you are probably aware of this. Some of you have taken advantage of it. It's a program that our club has that runs every 4 months, so 3 times a year. Each of you, the members of our club, have an opportunity to apply to a mini grant where you can get a certain amount of money that you can contribute to a project in your own community. Granted that money is matched is matched by another organization, whether it's another Rotary Club or another organization that cares about this issue or problem. So those are $250 grants that are matched by another $250 for a total of $500. So not a ton of money, but still could be very, very impactful. Now, I think we're talking about these grants, so we must mention fundraising as well. So we have to think about innovative ways of raising funds for our club and for these service projects that we'll be engaging in. There's been some ideas that have been mentioned already, whether it's crowdfunding projects or engaging in other type of activities that could bring our club some income. I'd like here to source some ideas from our club members as well. So please let me know any ideas that you have on this, any innovative, fun ways that we can do fundraising together as a group. I know in the past we've done a large fundraiser in person in Northern California. We've discussed this within the board, and it's actually likely that we're not going to do this year. We'll focus those in-person activities to probably in-person socials more so. Still to be decided, but again, sourcing some ideas for innovative and creative ways of doing fundraising where we can all be engaged as a group to do that effort. Now, the second goal is to improve our member happiness and engagement. Now, this is a very important goal as well. I think in order to do that, it will have to be very much a team effort. So the membership committee, the in-person socials committee, the online socials committee, all of these leaders within our club are going to be engaged in this effort. Now, the first thing to do will be to learn more about our members. Now, I want to make sure that we have a member survey of some sort that goes out early in the Rotary year. So look out for that in your email inbox. And this will give us an opportunity to get a little bit of a better idea on what sort of things you, our members, are interested in doing, what sort of things you like, you don't like about our club currently, what sort of things we should be doing differently. So again, look out for that in your inboxes very soon coming up in the new Rotary year. Now, the second thing here is to ensure that all members feel connected to the club. Now, there's different ways that we can make sure that everybody feels engaged and connected to the club, and I'd like to put to put the focus on this in a few different ways. I'd like to make sure that we have more opportunities for our members to connect. So we have our online socials that have been happening every so often, but these are going to become more frequent and more regular in the new Rotary year. This again will be an opportunity for all of our members, regardless of where they're located, to get together, to get to know each other, to talk to each other, to use each other as a resource. We'll also continue to have opportunities for our members to connect through the Coffee with a Rotarian program, our members in the Silicon Valley to connect through in-person socials. I'd like to have our members feel like they can learn more from other fellow members of our club and from the club in general. So we'll probably try and implement some kind of a professional development program. This has been it has been suggested in the past. So whether it's simple, bringing back some simple videos that teach everybody how to do certain things on the program page each week, or whether it's going to take a different form, still to be decided. But this is one idea that could be implemented. Now, I'd like to talk about another issue here that I'd like to improve on. So the attendance in our club is defined by a member logging into our program page each week, going through the entire program, all the updates on that page, and the video at the bottom indicating that they have attended, and leaving a comment at the end. So whether they're commenting on the program, they're posing a question of some sort, whatever it might be. Now, I think there's a few opportunities here. What I'd like to do is early on in the very beginning of the Rotary year, so in the next few weeks, you'll be getting an email that outlines very clearly what we mean by attendance. So what does it mean to attend a meeting to the Rotary Club of Silicon Valley? And I think there might be some confusion around that. And once this is well defined and understood, we'll also share attendance policy and make sure that everybody knows what that is, knows how they can make up meetings if they need to, if they've missed one of ours. The main goal here would be to make sure that we have as high attendance rate as possible. Our club has extreme flexibility compared to any other Rotary club in the world. As you're aware, you can attend our meetings at any time during the week. It usually takes no more than an hour, and you don't even have to do it all at once. Because of that extreme flexibility, we should have very high attendance rates. So I'd like to make that one of the highest priorities for me as a club president. Now, the third goal that I'd like to talk about here is mostly related to running our club. So mostly related to club operations and how we can make that more efficient. The first thing to do would be to maintain a strong executive board. We have had very good boards in the past where people are very committed and engaged. I'd like to continue and grow this in the new Rotary year. I'd like to make sure that we have high attendance in our monthly board meetings, and that we have very efficient ways in the way that we run the club. With that comes this additional goal here, which is to automate repetitive operational tasks. We have quite a few things that happen on a regular basis in our club. So whether it's keeping track of attendance or sending reminder emails about certain things, a lot of the tasks that happen in one or another could be automated or semi-automated. Now, we have already started working on this. There's been some actions that have been taken on that. And again, this is probably not something that will be very, very visible to the rest of the club, but those on the board and those that are part of committees are surely going to appreciate this. So I think our club being connected to the Silicon Valley and being an e-club, I think we need to show more commitment to innovative technological tools that allow any organization to run more smoothly, to run more efficiently, and to take up less of our time. So those are just two of the goals. Now, the third one that's related to club operations is to engage more members in running the club. So as you know, we have our board, we have several committees that exist on our board. We have a few people that are engaged with the club on a very regular basis. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to make sure that we expand our committees a bit more, and that we give more opportunities to more members of our club to be involved in leadership positions, even if it's just with very minimal commitment. But that way, it takes a little bit of weight off someone else's shoulders. So the club will hopefully run even more efficiently, more people will feel engaged, and no one is gonna feel like they're burning out. Those were just some of my ideas and goals for the new Rotary year. I wanted to again thank Roger and the rest of the team that's here on the call for your time and the opportunity to share this with you. I look forward to your suggestions and your ideas. And before we move on to that, just let me encourage everybody who is watching this, all of our members, please send me your ideas or suggestions directly to Tzviatko@SiliconValleyRotary.com. Or you can just wait for the member survey that's going to go out early in the new Rotary year, where you'll have an opportunity to tell us how you feel about the club now and what suggestions you have about how we can improve things in different ways. So with that, thank you very much. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Roger, I'll hand it over back to you.
Thank you very much, Jackal. First of all, is there any questions of Jackal? Raquel?
No, not really. We have been talking about this, and I'm really looking forward to next year. I'm sure that it's going to be an amazing year for us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think it's going to be great. I look forward to getting more people more involved and hearing how we can collectively make our club the best it can be.
Vandana, do you have a question of Jackal?
Not really. But yeah, okay, I can ask one question.
Yeah.
Say, apart from, one is like, say, joining a Rotary is like you are joining an organization where you are supposed to make donations, whatever you can, big, small, or whatever. So now the thing is that apart from donations, which is one important aspect of Rotary, because that is how you make an impact, raising money and passing it to some charities. So like, apart from that, what kind of engagement, or say how you think that one of your members or people who are in different parts of the world as international members of the club can contribute? Yeah. Like we have that Manoj, you would have met him during that conference. So what ideas did you share as to like his being there as a club member, and how, and especially he's on the president of the district of the youth, and Delhi is slushing around with money, so money is not a constraint in the district. So how does Silicon Valley want to engage, say, with his district?
Yeah. Good question, Vandana. And I think raising money, while important, is just one aspect of making a difference in a community. So I think doing service is probably one of the biggest challenges that I've seen for e-clubs, including ours. It is quite challenging to do this together as a club. Now, a few ideas that I'd like to suggest. Some of the things that I talked about earlier in the presentation as well, is in terms of in-person service projects. I think one easy thing that all of our members should do is be connected to local Rotary clubs in their community. So once you are a Rotarian, in our club, you're a Rotarian anywhere. So you should be welcome
I know.
as a Rotarian in your local Rotary clubs.
Keep visiting the local clubs, of like go and attend offline meetings. That's what you suggest.
No. So I mean, you can attend their meetings if you'd like. What I'm suggesting is that being aware of what your local Rotary clubs are doing in the community will give you an opportunity to join them in those efforts. So if they are, for example, going to I don't know, paint a house or help at a soup kitchen or something like that, you can just go along as a Rotarian and make that contribution. So you are helping your local community through your efforts by volunteering your time to your local community. So that's one easy thing that I would suggest. Another thing is skill sharing or even online mentoring that all of our members can engage in as well. We'll have to figure out as a team the best ways to do that collectively, or the best platform that we can use to do that. But we have some incredible talent in the membership of our club. We have some very interesting, very smart, amazing people that have a lot to offer in terms of skill sharing and knowledge. So contributing those skills, helping other people learn something new or different, or being a mentor to someone who's younger, who's just starting their career, I think is all very beneficial, and those are incredible service projects that can be done completely remotely as well. So any of our members can do it for people anywhere else in the world. With Manoj, we didn't talk specifically. I did meet Manoj in Hamburg at the Rotary International Convention, and he's such an incredible guy, very, very dedicated, and obviously a true leader for Rotary, great asset to our club and also to his Rotaract community back home. So we didn't talk specifically about engagement with other Rotary clubs or with that district there, but I know that one of the projects that we are currently considering supporting, a telemedicine project, will be implemented in a community that's very close to both you and Manoj.
So when you talk about this telemedicine, I think I was talking to somebody about that, or I had attended that presentation. Won't some licenses and all be required? Because those, you have the medical profession, you have the legal profession, and you have the accountancy profession. All these require local degrees and certifications. So how can somebody remotely give a medical service without having that, the certification? So legally you don't require any approvals from the government of India?
That's actually a good question. I'm not entirely sure how that works. All I know is that the organization that's doing these projects has been working all over the world, including in India, and they've been able to manage this successfully. They've partnered with clinics and hospitals from around the world where where they're able to provide their expertise and they're able to diagnose issues just over a video conference. So I'm not sure that I have an exact answer to your concern, Vandana, in terms of the the legality of all of this and the any additional requirements that must be met. But I'm sure that's something that's taken into consideration. We can. I can connect you to Farheen, who has been our member Farheen, who has been very involved with that organization, and maybe she can help us find out exactly.
See, what happens is, in Indian context I'm talking, and that anyone will Google and find out. There are a lot of American and European companies, MNCs, which are into the clinical trial stage of drug. They use the poor people in India at times, because there's a lot of illiteracy in the slums and all, as guinea pigs for
Right.
doing a clinical test which is unethical. See, ethics is important in every field.
Of
So
course.
if it is Rotary, then anything which is being done unethical should not be acceptable.
Right. I totally agree
So
with
how
you.
do we make sure that people are not being used as guinea pigs without their knowledge, and unethical practices are being carried out?
Fair
Because see,
concern.
and the mistake what America or Europe makes is it compares constantly Africa with India.
Mhm.
Though China, I would say, is a bigger economic power than India, but the laws or the regulation is much better in India compared to, say, Africa or China.
So fair concern, Vandana, and again, we can find out more information about this, I'm sure, from Global Offsite Care, and which is the organization that is implementing these telemedicine projects. I can, maybe you, I, and Raheen can have this discussion over email. So I'll send an email, and then we can address those
Yeah,
concerns.
see, we should actually, what I could contribute is that I have seen the local stuff from the inside, be going there 3-4 years, 5 years. So we know that their money is not a constraint in Delhi, and at times it is not just the money. There is also thought leadership and strategy, and how there are so many things which can be done, because government of India is proactively willing to support such movements. So if suppose as a body, a district approaches the government of Delhi, then they can get a lot of stuff done. So with the local, community schools and all, you have to actually engage that Manoj, if at all, and I can give some thought leadership. And obviously, when my wallet size improves, then I will make the contribution what I can to Rotary, because my life has not ended.
Thanks, Vandana. Thank you for your contributions here. And I'll send an email with Raheen so we can continue this discussion.
Right. Yeah, now I have 2 questions or 2 comments, let's to say. And that the first of all is that I think in our bank balance we have about $16,000 to $17,000. I think that we have about $6,000 or $7,000 out of that fund in order to be able to do service projects. Now, all you need for international project is a $2,000 grant out of our club funds, which would go towards, let's say, a water project, because it would go and that would be doubled by the district, and it would actually go up to about $8,000, a $2,000 gift out of our savings account. And that way, we would have an interest for an international project. And I was wondering what you thought of spending that $6,000 or $7,000, because that would still leave us about $10,000 in our bank account.
So it's a good question, Roger. We must also consider that the money that we have in our bank account is also there's a lot of that needs to be used for dues, for member dues that we owe to Rotary International, to the district. There's other kind of ongoing operational costs for our club related to, website and all sorts of other things. But you're right that there is some opportunity for us to contribute to service projects. This is one reason why we're considering the telemedicine project, and also the first global grant that we'll do as a club. Now, as we engage in these efforts, we have to also make sure that we continue to do some fundraising so we can continue to be a healthy club finances wise. But you are right that we can and we will be doing more, hopefully, in the new Rotary year when it comes to service and contributing to international projects.
Thank you. The second point, there is on the programs committee, we need 3 more members from our club who are prepared to commit to doing 8 programs per year. And as a result of that, I would like for the members, any member who's interested, to get in touch with you and who's prepared to commit to doing 8 programs. Now, 8 programs isn't difficult. It's a lot easier than doing 20 programs.
When you put it like this, yes.
Excuse me. And in that way, we get more people who, from their own perspectives, bring forward programs so that we can have a variety of different programs from different people's perspectives. And because without 3 more members who is already prepared to commit, that means that somebody within our club is going to have to come up with, instead of doing 8 programs, is going to have to do 30.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not fair to that individual.
Right. I agree. I agree with you. And I think it's one of the reasons why I'd like to see more of our members be engaged on a committee level, even if it's just making a small contribution on a regular basis every week in terms of time, just contributing, an hour of their time a week can go a really long way. And I'll join you in that call for our members, and not just 3, but why not everybody? Everybody that's watching this, think about, an interesting person in your community, in your personal, professional life that you've come across, who you think will make a good speaker for a club. I think everybody should be engaged in that effort, and it doesn't take a whole lot to, reach out to a person and invite them to come and, speak to our club.
When I said 3 more, I had included yourself and Raquel as members of the program committee already. So I'm talking about 3 additional members other than both of you. And because you have to cover 52 meetings per year.
Yeah.
And if you break it down if all you have is 4 people doing it, it makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
If you had 7, it makes it relatively easy. And a person's contribution of 8 programs should be their contribution for the year. Mm-hmm. That's all I have to say about that. Now, what I will say to the members and who are watching this presentation is that, and any guests, please fill out the attendance form at the bottom of the meeting. And if you put in your correct email address as a guest, you will receive from our club a receipt which you can give to your club secretary so that you can register as a makeup. The other thing that I would ask that all the people do, if possible, is to fill out the comment section. And if you don't feel like writing a comment, there's also that little section above, which all you have to do is click as to saying which part of the, whether or not you liked it or you loved it or it was funny or whatever. And that only takes 1 second to fill out. So I would recommend that you make your comments and also fill out that section. Now, as it is our practice, I'm going to turn the program back to Jackal for his last words of wisdom for this program. Take it away, Jackal.
Thanks so much, Roger. Thanks again for the opportunity. So as my last words of wisdom here, I'd like to actually take an opportunity to thank our outgoing board of directors for their leadership throughout this entire Rotary year. I'd like to thank the members of our committees, and especially you, Roger, for your tremendous leadership and the programs committee being able to help us find such great speakers. And finally, I'd just like to say that I'm very excited about this new Rotary year. I'm excited about what's to come and working together with all of you to implement and achieve the 3 goals that I outlined earlier today. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Forward to comments.